Good day. I would personally like to welcome you to Intro to Africana Studies, Black Religion, Literacy, and Education. And in this class, we will study the history of Christianity in terms of the attainment of African Americans. Particularly, today's lecture is going to deal with the Methodists. Good morning, class. I am Dominique Clark, and for this week video discussion, I chose to focus solely on the Methodist Church, as well as individuals associated with the Methodist Church in regards to the avocation of African American education here in this country. So according to the Methodist Church documents, during and after Reconstruction, the African American Church is going to be the epicenter or the cornerstone of that particular community. So soon after the Civil War, around 1866, you're going to have the Methodist Episcopal Church of Bishops. They're going to meet in New Orleans, and they're going to decide. They're going to pretty much conduct a meeting to decide what are we going to do about these emancipated slaves that are technically knocking at their door. So it's going to be sources like Carter G. Woodson's The History of the Negro Church is going to break down the actions as well as the ideologies of the Methodist Church following this war. And it is going to be determined that the Methodist Church decided not to wait for the southern states to determine if they were going to provide some type of provisions for children of color. So with that being said, the United Methodist Church, alongside individual organizations like the Freedmen's Aid Society, is going to establish around 70 institutions of education in the South as well as the Southeast for people of color between the years of 1866 and 1882. America's Historically Black Colleges and University, A Narrative History from 1837 to 2009 is also a great source, and it's going to provide an overall narrative of the development as well as the progression of historically black colleges and universities across this country, especially within the South. So of the 70 schools that are going to be established as a team between the Methodist Church as well as the Freedmen's Aid Society, about 11 of those schools remain today. And one of those schools is going to be Bethune-Cookman University. And the reason why I'm bringing up specifically Bethune-Cookman University is because I am looking to highlight the founder of that university, which is the great Mary McLeod Bethune. Mary McLeod Bethune, or Dr. Bethune, is going to be essential to the advancement of African American education here in this country. And even though she is more recognized for her role in politics and her progressive ability to be a female leader in a time where that is kind of unheard of, and her fight for racial advancement, sometimes she gets overlooked in terms of her advocacy for education. Mary McLeod Bethune is actually going to label herself a Methodist on a mission. She is at one point in time even going to serve on the board as well as one of the leaders of this whole denomination. Her philosophy of education, one of her sources is a philosophy of education for the Negro girls, continues to influence on a spiritual as well as a social level. It continues to transform a lot of scholars still today at her school. Those who attend Mary McLeod Bethune or Bethune-Cookman, as it is right now, they are still obligated to take 2 religious courses as freshmen. So this is going to continue to kind of highlight highlight the correlation or the importance of religion in terms of Black academia. One of her biggest philosophies, or her big philosophy, is the Christian education of a whole person. So she has this saying or this motto, the head, hand, and heart philosophy. We not only should cater to those individuals for knowledge, but also we should speak to their spiritual being. That's going to be your heart, as well as teach individuals trades, and that's with your hands. Because if you, especially when it came to women, because if African American women in the community did better, then that had the capability of rising up that whole community as a whole. So once again, this week my sole purpose was to dive in depth to the Methodist Church and individuals associated with this Methodist Church, to who helps create or help the progression of African American literacy and education and academia as in America, and also highlight the foundational elements of historically Black colleges as well as universities. I thank you for your time and attention on this week, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. In review, just to be clear, there are countless of individuals as well as groups that can be given credit to assisting African Americans to attain an education. But to be clear, there is no other group or denomination more instrumental in the education of African Americans before the Civil War as well as after than the African Methodist Episcopal Church. The AME Church is going to be founded in 1816 by a man named Richard Allen. And throughout his bishopship and throughout the history of this Methodist Church, the self-determination of African Americans directly correlated with education. And in this course, over the next 8 weeks, we will learn just how so.